Hello out there in TV land.
Did Carmen put a love spell on Hill? Today we'll be taking a deep dive into Carmen, a Hip-Hopera, a made-for-TV movie that premiered on MTV in 2001. The film takes Carmen, a novella that was originally written in 1845 by Prosper Merimee, I hope I said his name right, and puts a hip-hop spin on it. Let's get into it. So the movie starts off with some aggressive rap narration from the brat, and the bars of her narration, she's basically spoiling what's about to happen before she even gives me a chance to tune into the movie first. Damn!
Classic story retold. Carmen, a hip-hopera. Watch the drama unfold.
Then we cut over to a man by the name of Derek Hill. He's played by Mekhi Phifer, who's an icon in his own right. Claps and snaps for him. When it comes to Hill, the movie quickly makes it a point to establish him as a good man, Savannah.
He's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
They set him up as an engaged, law-abiding cop who only has eyes for his fiancée. Therefore, he's not interested in his partner's most likely made-up story about meeting some freak at an after-hours spot the other night. His partner jokingly tells him that he figures that he should hear about a bad chick since he can't be with one. It is MTV in 2001, so I guess they couldn't curse. Hill tells his partner that his fiancée is a bad chick and that he just doesn't like the type of girl that his partner is referring to because those girls are nothing but trouble. Keep that in mind. Then we are introduced to Lieutenant Death. Of course, his character has a name, but Lieutenant Death just has a nice ring to it, so I stick with that. Then again, the movie makes a rather quick point to establish Lieutenant Death as a bad man, Savannah. They have him pull up on Jermaine Dupri. Why is Jermaine Dupri here? Anyways, they have him pull up on Jermaine Dupri and take all his money and drugs, showing that Lieutenant Death is a dirty cop.
I'm the pimp, you the hoe. So, get my money.
So within 3 minutes of the movie, we already have our protagonist Derek Hill and our antagonist Lieutenant Death. No build up, no nothing. They get straight to the point with their plot line. Then this is where I started wondering if this movie was sponsored by So Def, because then we see Bow Wow and somehow he has found himself in a stolen vehicle with a grown ass man.
You know I have nothing to do with this.
Yes, you did, baby.
The cops end up getting on their tracks, causing them to ditch the vehicle. Then when Lieutenant Death catches up to Bow Wow, he plants drugs on him for running, further demonstrating his role as the bad guy. Hill sees all this going down and tries to step in, but as his superior, Lieutenant Death basically tells him to shut his bitch ass up, and he does.
Oh, come on now. I saw that.
You saw what?
I already saw.
Shut up.
And with no other options, because going to someone higher up than Lieutenant Death would be stupid, I guess, Hill listens to him and drags an innocent child off to jail. Now we're at a place called Lou's Pub, where I guess all the cops in the city hang out when there's no crime to fight. There's an older man talking about how the cops in Philly are corrupt now and aren't honorable anymore. And I think as a black person, I'm supposed to recognize this man, but I'm sorry.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
But I think he was a part of that blaxploitation era, so shout out to him, cause my black spidey senses are telling me I'm supposed to do that. Anywho, Lieutenant Death comes into Lou's Pub and he starts flirting with Hill's fiance because he clearly has zero respect for that man. Hill's fiance name is Kayla and she's played by Regan Gomez Preston, who has one of my favorite face cards ever. I mean, there's no reason for her to look like that, but as a finologist, I can't do nothing but appreciate it. And that I do. Then suddenly the beat drops and in walks a woman by the name of Carmen Brown. Carmen is played by the iconic Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter.
Beyonce.
And I want to say this was Beyonce's debut into the acting world, and to me this is back when she still had what I like to call homegirl quality. Homegirl quality just means this was back when Beyonce still felt relatable. Like at this period in time, she was still just a young 20 to 21 year old young woman grinding to solidify her name among the stars outside of being a part of a girl group. She still had a point to prove. Back then I could see her taking this role because she saw a lot of herself in the character Carmen, a young woman with a whole lot of dreams, but now I can't relate shit to Beyonce. Like, that's Beyonce. That's the only way I can describe it. That's Beyonce. I'm pretty sure that now you would have to drop at least $1 million to get Beyonce to even look at the script of Carmen or Hip-Hopera. She probably don't even remember being in this movie. But Beyonce definitely deserves to be where she's at today, so of course shout out to Queen B. Anywho, all eyes are on Carmen, and you can tell by Carmen's actions that she's definitely the type of woman who enjoys the male gaze. I mean, she's in this musty ass pub dressed like she's going to the BET Awards. The dress and the rose in the hair are a lot for this type of establishment, ma'am. But I'm pretty sure she came there to be looked at and she got what she wanted. wanted. Some old freak winks at her in front of his girlfriend or wife and Carmen eats it up. The woman rightfully so catches the attitude, but baby, please direct that energy at your man because he was definitely Kool-Aid grinning all in that woman's face in front of you.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
What are you doing?
Nothing, baby.
She is not all that.
The lies. There you go. This bitch. The lies.
Then because this is a hip-hopera, Carmen starts rapping about how fine she is and how all the men be on her body.
I see you looking at, but what you looking at? You in the barn wanna twist me like a bottle cap.
Lieutenant Def joins in, basically trying to shoot his shot at her, but she not feeling him.
Yo, trying to get with you, shorty.
But I'm not feeling you.
During the midst of this, Carmen and Hill lock eyes for the first time, and the fact that Hill isn't really swaying her like the other men in the pub is what intrigues Carmen about him, I guess. During the remainder of her song, she continuously tries to pull Hill's attention away from his fiancée, which Hill actually starts entertaining a little bit, causing Kayla to storm off. Again, this is the type of activity that Carmen thrives off of. Look at that smile. Hill follows Kayla to a back room where she questions him about what just happened out there, and he tells her that she's the only woman he loves. They let the Carmen thing go pretty quickly because they have bigger issues. Kayla wants Hill to quit the police force when they get married because she's scared about his safety, but for him, policing his life. Then they proceed to argue about the same topic because I guess they wanted us to feel it on a deeper level, and it's comical.
Becoming a cop is like becoming a man to me.
And if you get shot, then you'll become a body bag, you see?
Kayla and Hill start making up towards the end of their duet, but it gets interrupted by some commotion. It's Carmen rolling around on the floor with the girlfriend or the wife of the man that winked at her earlier. When everything is broken up, Carmen tries to say that her and the girl fighting was an accident, but Lieutenant Dove says that he saw Carmen slick talking the girl and she swung on her first. Plus, Lou, who's played by the older black man that I think I'm supposed to know, says that this time he's pressing charges on Carmen because she comes in there all the time starting trouble. So Carmen gets arrested. And Lieutenant Dove forces Hill to take her down to the precinct, leading to the beginning of the end. On the outside, Carmen wastes no time trying to seduce Hill so she won't have to go to jail. And of course, that leads into a song about Carmen trying to seduce Hill so she won't have to go to jail.
Just from the looks of it, I must say, you're bound to get hooked on it if you play.
When that doesn't work, Carmen tries convincing Hill to take her home before he takes her to jail, telling him that she has on a ring that her mother gave her before she died and she wants to take it off first. Where the hell they do that at?
Please, just let me go home and take it off.
But he actually falls for that shit, so now we're at Carmen's place where Hill knows damn well it's ludicrous for him to be. While Carmen is in the back doing whatever, Hill looks around her apartment and learns more about her. She has affirmations framed and a bunch of acting books on the table, so
So I take it you want to be an actress?
More than anything.
then, of course, Carmen convincing Hill to take her home was just another ploy for her to try to seduce him again. So of course we get another song about her trying to seduce him again.
You know you really want to be with me.
During this song is when the thought that Carmen did a love spell on Hill first occurs to me, because in this song she says his first name. There was no point on camera thus far where he disclosed that information to her, and the name tag on his uniform only has his last name on it.
Derek, we can make beautiful music together.
I know that tonight at Lou's Pub was supposed to be the first time that Carmen and Hill laid eyes on each other, but the whole name thing got me thinking that maybe it wasn't Carmen's first time seeing him. Lou said that Carmen starts trouble in there all the time, which means she must go there a lot, and it's clearly the spot where the cops hang out regularly. And those affirmations displayed on Carmen's wall tell me that she's into manifesting and believing that the universe will grant her hard desires if she believes enough. But I'm sure we all know that manifesting doesn't work without some action behind it. So my theory is that Carmen saw Hill in Lou's Pub with Kayla one day and decided that she wanted him for herself for whatever reason. Maybe it was the whole he was the only dude not paying her any attention thing, because it has been shown that Carmen thrives off getting attention from taking men. And I think that after deciding that she just needed to take Hill from Kayla, I believe Carmen went home, pulled out that 369 method and some candles and got to work.
You just made that up.
I don't know, it literally just could be bad writing or me looking too deep, but the first time we hear Hill's first name is when Carmen sings it. Everybody calls him Hill, Kayla included. But anywho, this time Hill isn't able to resist Carmen and he falls victim to temptation.
You can't deny you feel the force, you know it's true.
I gotta go, but really now I'm feeling you.
I can't take money making Mitch serious at all. He puts his whole livelihood on the line for that cookie. Let's see if it was worth it. The next morning, Hill is woken up by Lieutenant Delph and some other officers there to arrest him because failing to take someone to jail and going to their house and sleeping with them instead is definitely a crime. But the thing is, Carmen is nowhere to be found.
She's not here, but we're gonna find her though.
I won't lie, that was kind of grimy. I mean, she went out of her way to get him and just left him there. Anyways, then Kayla comes in, child, because apparently Lieutenant Delph brought her along because he just knew that Hill would be weak enough to fall for Carmen. It's almost like he made Hill be the one to take Carmen in last night as a setup because he just knew he was a bitch ass nigga. I mean, it's like he just knew he would fall for it, and he did. How dare he play on Kayla's fine ass time like that?
Kayla, I don't know what this is for.
Hill gets locked up and his whole life is flipped upside down behind a woman he barely knew for 24 hours. He lost his future wife and his job. Is Hill just dumb as hell, or is there something beyond his control at work? The love spell does come back to mind because it genuinely looks like Hill didn't understand why he made that decision. And why would they set him up to be this good guy just to have him fall from grace barely a day later? But men crash out and throw their lives away behind fine women every single day, so I could just be talking out the side of my neck. Anywho, now we're back at Carmen's place either a few days or maybe a week later, but it's been long enough for her to say that the charges against her were dropped. She's chilling with her girls Rashida and Nikki, aka Rod Digger and Joy Bryant. Everybody and their mama in this movie. Anyways, Carmen is actually in the middle of performing a tarot card reading for them, showing more evidence that she dibbles and dabbles in the wonders of the universe. So her performing a love spell on somebody doesn't sound that crazy to me. But anywho, for her friend Nikki, she gets the Princess of Nuggets, which means she sees wealth and money in her future. This causes Nikki to bring up a dude by the name of Blaze, who's going to be in town next month for his show. Blaze is a rapper, and Nikki now has plans to push up on him at his after party because basically our girl wants a rich ass nigga. That's her aspiration in life. Then for Rashida, Carmen gets a card called the Star, which means she sees stardom in Rashida's future, which is exciting because Rashida is actually an aspiring rapper.
That's my record deal right there, y'all.
When the card reading is over, Nikki and Rashida jump up and tell Carmen to come on because I guess they had plans to go out tonight, but Carmen responds by saying, "I'm in for the night, ladies." She literally said it just like that.
I'm in for the night, ladies.
I forgot how deep Beyonce's voice is since she barely talks to the public anymore. Any other time, Carmen would have been down to hit the town, so Rashida and Nikki put two and two together and figure she's sprung over Hill, which she quickly admits to. She says that he's just different and it feels like they were meant to be, but if I focus on what the movie has given me, they only spent one night together and now that man in jail. So how does she really know he's different, and how does it feel like they were meant to be, unless, like I said, she was already planning on that man? Anyways, Rashida tells Carmen that it's those damn cars talking, and Carmen says the cars never lie. Then when her girls are gone, Carmen sits down and proceeds to write Hill a letter. In the letter, she apologizes for leaving him in her apartment that day, saying that she just couldn't survive even one night in jail. Then she tells him that she misses him and knew from the very first moment that she saw him in Lou's pub that her heart was his, and she writes that she's holding her breath until he returns and he knows where to find her when he gets out. I think Carmen just likes to hear herself talk because, girl, you barely spent one night with that man. And I'm starting to think that this shit just a game for her. Like, I know the thought of a man throwing his whole life away and ending up in jail behind her just makes her feel like she's that girl. You know, in a movie full of unserious moments, this has to be the most unserious of them all, because why the fuck would Bow Wow be Hill's cellmate? Shouldn't he be in juvie or something? Then they gonna have the audacity to have this man bust out rapping to that little boy about his love life as if he could understand or give any advice.
How you gonna make it?
When you get out, what you gonna do?
Man, I'm gonna make a kitten purr.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
At this point, I'm over it and I want to be left alone, but I'm committed to this. The show must go on. Anyways, now it's been a month later because we're at the after party that Nikki was talking about pushing up on Blaze at. Lieutenant Duff is in attendance too for some reason, and he tries pushing up on Carmen again, knowing full well that she's now somewhat involved with Hill. But as I stated before, he has zero respect for that man, so that don't mean shit to him. He might be a little jealous of him, I don't know. But of course, Carmen turns Lieutenant Duff down again. Then we finally meet Blaze, the man that everybody is here for tonight, and I won't lie, Blaze got one of the best introductions into a movie ever to me. Like, it just might be up there with Morris Chestnut in The Best Man.
Who?
Let me relax a little bit. But I just really enjoy his introduction into this movie.
Shorty is the M-O-N-E. Why? My wrist will leave your eyes B-L-I-N-D. My.
Anywho, Blaze is played by Casey Lee, aka DJ Twist. He replaced Sean on A Living Color when Sean became a part of the main cast. I don't know, for some reason I just felt the need to share that information because it was stored in my brain and I never thought there would be a moment where I needed it. But here we are. Anywho, Blaze spots Carmen, and like 99.9% of the men in this movie, he becomes completely enamored with her. When is somebody gonna look at me like that? Ooh, it got personal. Let me move on. When the song ends, Blaze walks up on Carmen and her girls real smooth and hits them with one of those, "Y'all mind if I talk to y'all friend?" Nikki, the friend who had plans on biting down on Blaze herself, actually takes this really well, and her and Rashida lead him along. In the universe of this movie, Nikki was probably used to men going after Carmen first because Carmen is supposed to be the finest of them all, but baby, that's Joy Bryant. If I was Blaze, I would have been trying to get them both, but that's just me though.
Who's a freaky ass nigga?
Fuck you mean?
Anywho, Carmen and Blaze start talking, and at first Carmen is a little cold towards him because she feels like he's trying to use his status to get at her, but then Blaze starts joking around, and that gets her to show them teeth and introduce herself to him.
Carmen.
Nice to meet you, Carmen.
Blaze and Carmen start getting to know each other a little more, and the topic of her dream of moving to California and pursuing her acting career comes up, and Blaze seems genuinely interested. I don't know, maybe I'm just easy, maybe he just looks good to me, maybe I just like his smile and his vibe, but if Carmen not feeling Blaze, I am.
That's a black king right there.
Your name and lights already, just like
Whatever, don't pay for me.
Look, wait.
Then to show Carmen that he's not bullshitting just to impress her, Blaze gives her his card and tells her that when she finds herself in California, she should hit him up and he will introduce her to some of his friends that are producers and agents. Like any other woman with some sense, Carmen wants to know what she got to do for him to want to do all that for her, but Blaze says nothing. I don't know why, but I believe him just a little bit. Plus, I wouldn't personally know anything about this, but I know pretty privileges be working like that sometimes. Blaze don't even know if Carmen is actually a talented actress, but looking like that, somebody gonna give her a role for sure. Now, I don't know if Blaze is just a really nice guy, a trick, or a creep, because then he tells Carmen, in fact, why don't you and your girls come to LA with me and my crew tonight? Wait a minute, Blaze.
That's too fast, mama. Oh! That's too fast.
But Carmen turns down his offer, telling him that love is keeping her in Philly, the love of a man that she spent one night with, because it's that strong. Yeah. Now we're back at Carmen's place where Rashida and Nikki come in excited as hell because Blaze told them about the LA thing.
We getting Gucci, Prada, all that, and they paying for it. I know you damn.
I'm thinking he thought that they could get Carmen to change her mind, because why else would he still invite her friends even though she already turned him down? But Carmen ends up telling them the same thing she told Blaze. She's staying behind in Philly for love. She says that Hill loves her and that he will be down to move to California when he get out, because the man already gave up his high school sweetheart and career for her, so moving shouldn't be shit, right? Of course they start rapping because this is a hip-hopera. The song is basically just about Nikki and Rashida accusing Carmen of putting her dreams on hold for love.
Carmen, why you bugging? This ain't the time for loving. Blaze got the dough. We should stick it in the oven.
It ends with Rashida and Nikki deciding to go to California without her, and Carmen saying she'll meet them there in 2 weeks. Then I guess we jump 2 weeks because suddenly Hill is in Carmen's apartment waking her up with a kiss.
Who?
He says that he saw that her window was open from the ground and decided to climb up and come in to surprise her.
See if I snuck up in your bedroom, touch you while you sleep.
Carmen isn't scared, but I am. Is that not insane, borderline obsessive behavior? Sir, you could have knocked. Sir, why didn't you knock? Anywho, now it's the next morning and Carmen wastes no time telling Hill that she wants to move to California over breakfast.
We should move to California.
But Hill drops a bomb on her by telling her that with his probation, he can't leave Philly for at least a year. That's not some shit that Carmen is trying to hear.
A year?
Yeah, but what's a year? That's no big deal, right?
Of course, this leads to them rap arguing. Carmen's whole point is that if Hill truly loves her, he would jump up and leave no matter the consequences, because he's already been moving like this, so nigga don't slow down now.
If you were down for me and loved me, you would get on the plane.
Hill's whole point is that he does love Carmen, and that love is the only thing that got him through being locked up, but he's not trying to go back.
This probation thing forbids me to leave. What can I do? Right? I'm sorry.
Then for some reason after that, Hill ends up taking his slow ass to Lou's pub, knowing that's where the whole police force hangs out, so of course Lieutenant Duff is there to antagonize him. These niggas start rapping at each other. Hill raps about knowing that Lieutenant Duff is a dirty cop. Lieutenant Duff raps about Hill being a dumbass for throwing his life away behind a girl, and he claims he messed with Carmen while Hill was in jail lying to get under his skin. It ends with Lieutenant Duff calling Carmen a silly hoe, which causes Hill to crash out and lay hands on him. What he do that for? Now Lieutenant Duff wants him arrested for assaulting the officer.
Go arrest his ass, man.
Therefore, him and Carmen ain't got no choice but to flee to California, turning Hill into a fugitive on the run. Sometime later, Carmen and Hill make it to California and end up at some raggedy ass motel, and you can tell by Carmen's face that this is not how our girl envisioned she would be making it to Hollywood. But hey, love will conquer all, right? So Carmen and Hill hit the California streets running. First we see Hill trying to get a job, but of course most if not all jobs require your ID for a background check, so even getting a job as a janitor is not going to be easy, and Hill finds that out quickly. Then we see Carmen at an audition, and the movie sets it up like Carmen is having a hard time because the directors are looking for a Shanae type.
More black?
Yeah, you know, more like, Shanae.
But at the same time though, Carmen not that good of an actress.
But Jack, I thought you loved me. We've come a long way together.
Carmen, I know you didn't drag me all the way to California for this. It seems like Carmen only had plans to thrive off being pretty, cause if not, baby, we gonna need some classes. Then while leaving the audition, you can see Carmen realizing that in California, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pretty girls after the same thing she's after, so what really sets her apart from the rest? Cause at the end of the day, looks are only going to get you so far. Real talent is the only thing you can really rely on. Then to make things even worse, Hill goes back to the place that he applied to be a janitor at, and they ran a background check on him and found out that there's a warrant out for his arrest. So shit is bad, real bad. Michael Jackson.
Now look, you don't need to do that now. Who are you calling? Come on.
LAPD, there's a warrant out for your arrest.
Now we're back at that dirty ass motel where Carmen comes in and finds Hill sitting there watching TV, and our girl is kind of disgusted. This is when we get the first signs that Carmen had that man uproot his life behind her, and she's already close to being over him. She asks him, nigga, you ain't found a job yet? She didn't say it like that, but I know she wanted to.
Nah, I didn't find one today.
Did you try?
Then Hill has the nerve to tell Carmen that as long as they keep their love between them, everything else will work itself out. That seems to be the only thing on his mind. He's not worried about himself or his own well-being anymore. He's too caught up in Carmen. I'm not going to say that Hill lost his mind behind her because he's never had a, what the young kids say today, because he's never had a baddie before. Because that seems to be what the movie is getting at, that Hill just became completely obsessed with Carmen because he's never had a woman like her before. But he was quite literally engaged to Reagan Gomez Preston. So he should be used to some badness. Either that man is just stupid, or as my theory goes, he's under something. Either way, Carmen is not in it as deep as him, so some shit about some love is the last thing she's trying to hear right now.
Love won't get us out of this hellhole now, will it?
What, I'm dreaming of becoming some star, Will?
Of course, this leads to them rap arguing again because this is a hip-hopera, and normally I'm either laughing or over it, but this time it's okay because I actually like this moment. There are only about 3 songs that I enjoy out of this whole movie, and this is one of them. You could tell that Beyonce really channeled her inner hood rap for this one.
Try to get a job before we living out a box flat.
Put it on that and there's your demo, you can shop.
Anywho, then Carmen meets up with Rashida and Nikki, and like I've said, Blaze is just a really nice guy, a trick or a creep, because Carmen, the girl that he's really after, isn't even with them, and he's still sending her friends on shopping sprees and got them driving his Benz.
Who's Benzo?
Blaze.
He got like 4 of them, girl.
But Rashida does tell Carmen that he keeps asking about her, so I guess he's doing all this to get her attention, to let her know where it's good at. Okay, Blaze, let him know you just got it like that. I ain't mad at you. Then Rashida questions Carmen about how she's doing because she didn't like the way she sounded over the phone the last time they spoke. Carmen tells her that things with Hill aren't going like she thought they would, and she doesn't know what she's going to do. This is when the girls spot a tarot card and palm reading place and decide to go see what the future holds for each of them. When they go in, Nikki goes first, and the fortune teller, who's played by Wyclef Jean, sees abundance in her future, so basically wealth and money like Carmen saw. Then Rashida goes, and the fortune teller sees success in her future, again basically the same thing that Carmen saw. Then Carmen sits down herself, and all of a sudden the fortune teller snatches his cards up and tells them that he thinks they should leave now. Carmen basically tells him to stop playing and that she's ready to hear about her house in Malibu. That man says,
ain't no house in Malibu.
What do you mean by that?
this causes Carmen to grab the card, saying that she can do it herself. She flips the first 2 cards over and gets ruin and sorrow.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Then Carmen decides to shuffle the cards because obviously something ain't right. But this is when things take a dark turn because the next card she flips over says death. And Carmen said herself that the cards never lie, so our girl is shook. Then this is when we get the best song out of the whole entire movie. Truthfully, this might be the only thing they ate for real.
My last breath aside, and now I think about if it's my time to die.
But basically it's about Carmen realizing that she needs to be after her dreams with some urgency because she might not have that much time left. And despite the fact that this movie feels like it was filmed on a toaster, this moment does invoke some kind of emotion in me because this is a 20-something-year-old girl with big dreams who just found out that she might not have the time to reach any of them. That's sad.
No. I don't want to go.
During this song, my love spell theory does come back because Carmen says sometimes love is all you got and other times it makes you pay. Maybe Carmen realizes she messed around with the universe to get healed and now it's coming back on her.
Just let me stay home.
Anywho, now we're back at Lou's pub in Philly with Lieutenant Dev's partner, and he overhears Lou talking to some detectives about corrupt cops, especially cops who have drug dealers working for them. He goes to warn Lieutenant Dev because that's the exact type of shit he's on, which leads him to ask Lieutenant Dev if he has any loose screens. Like, is there anyone out there who could come out against him? Well, yeah, Hill saw him playing drugs on Bow Wow, so that's when that comes around. So Bow Wow wasn't in this movie for no reason, but Jermaine Dupri definitely was. Why was he here? Anyways, this makes Lieutenant Dev realize that Hill is a bigger problem than he thought, so now he wants to shut him up for good.
Hill could be a problem. We alright? Oh yeah. We'll make sure we alright.
Jumping straight into action, Lieutenant Dev tries to find out where Hill is through Kayla, but she tells him that she can't and won't help him, so he gotta think of something else. Now we're with Carmen, and I guess since she found out she don't have that much time left, she decided that she's not wasting any more of it on Hill. Our girl is backstage at Blaze rehearsal. I mean, no time was wasted. She switched up and knew what she needed to do immediately. Almost like the whole Hill thing was just a game that went too far for her, because if she really loved that man, would it have been this easy to switch up?
Carmen,
Blaze. But can I really be mad at my girl? Because look at the way Blaze keeps looking at her. Maybe Casey Lee wanted Beyonce in real life because you can really see it in his eyes. You know, Casey Lee played a wanton ass Negro really good, because I can feel the want. Shout out to him. Anyways, Blaze says to Carmen that he thought she was playing wifey with some cop, and Carmen says I was, but things changed, so fuck Hill at this point. Then Blaze ends up pulling out a talent pass and asking Carmen to be his date to his show Friday. Carmen has shifted her focus from Hill, the fugitive on the run who can't do shit for her, to Blaze, the man with all the resources, so of course she accepts that invite.
How would you like to be my date?
Carmen is definitely a girl who knows how to use what she's got to get what she wants. Ronnie would be proud. Now we're back at the motel with Hill, and he gets a phone call. It's Kayla, and she lets him know that she got his number from his old partner Porter because he's the only person who knows where Hill is at. Kayla tells Hill that even though he hurt her, she still cares enough about him to warn him that Lieutenant Dev is now after him. While all of this is going on, Hill tries apologizing to Kayla for his actions and tells her that he doesn't know how any of this happened, putting more fuel into my love spell theory. Because not to excuse Hill's behavior at all, but at times it genuinely felt like he was moving beyond his control.
All right, now look, just listen to me for 1 second, all right? I don't know how this happened, all right?
Now we're back at Lou's pub where Lieutenant Dev bribes Hill's old partner Porter into giving up his whereabouts with some money, so guess who's on their way to Cali? Back at the motel, Carmen walks in on Hill packing, and she's actually quite relieved because you can tell that she was there to talk to him about not being together anymore, and for some reason she assumes that he is on the same page.
Well, good, I've been waiting for you. I wanted to talk to you also.
You're packing? This is the best thing.
But no, Hill isn't there packing because he has decided that a change of scenery might be good for them. He wants to leave California, leave the one place that Carmen has been waiting her whole life to get to. And in his mind, he thinks that she loves him just as much as he loves her, and he would definitely do it for her, so why wouldn't she do it for him? But hell no. Carmen tells Hill that she's not leaving California because it's where she wants to be, but if he wants to leave, that's cool. Hill is baffled. He says to her, what are you talking about? Weren't you the one who said we were going to spend the rest of our lives together? What happened to that?
The rest?
Then Carmen tries to leave the room, but Hill ends up grabbing her bag and making everything inside of it fall out. This causes him to discover the talent pass to Blaze's show. Carmen tells Hill straight up that she's going to the show with Blaze. Then she tells that man that it was fun, but it's over, and she tries to back up on out the door. Bitch, there's no way you thought it was about to be that simple. There's no way you thought it was about to be that easy. Girl, this man has given up his whole livelihood for you. He has nothing else.
But I gave up my life for you.
What? You expect me to give up mine?
Truthfully though, unless my love spell theory is correct, then none of that is completely Carmen's fault. At the end of the day, it's on Hill because, sir, why would you do all that? Now it's Friday and we're with Carmen, who's suddenly in a nice ass bubble bath listening to the radio, not giving a damn about anything. Then Nikki comes in and tells her that Blaze is on the phone. Over the phone, Blaze tells Carmen that there's going to be a change of plans. He tells her that he's going to have a limo come pick her and her girls up and not to worry about what dress she's wearing because he has something special picked out for her. Definitely giving our girl the treatment she thinks she deserves. Excited as hell, Carmen jumps out of the tub to tell her girls about what Blaze said. While this is happening, some Final Destination shit occurs. Yeah, Carmen, bitch, the universe is after you. What did you do? We end up back at the motel with Hill where he sees Carmen on the TV with Blaze, Lord
Jesus.
This girl is moving real different. Hill calls his old partner Porter, the only friend he thinks he still has in the world, not knowing that this man has already sold him out. Hill is now in complete crash out mode. He starts telling Porter that he's going crazy and everything is falling apart. He tells him that Carmen left him for Blaze and Lieutenant Duff is coming after him now and he doesn't know what to do.
I'm going crazy out here, man. I'm losing it, man. Everything's falling apart, man. What's going on, man?
Porter tries convincing him that he just needs to leave town right now. But Hill is too far gone at this point and he has convinced himself that he can't do anything without Carmen.
Okay, I love her. Okay? She's the air that I breathe. You understand? Listen to me!
Yes, homeboy is fried. He tells Porter that he's not leaving California without her and that he's about to go down to the concert to get her. When he gets off the phone with Hill, Porter gets right on the phone with Lieutenant Duff and tells him he knows exactly where Hill is going to be. Looks like Blaze isn't going to be the only reason his concert is hot tonight.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
Anywho, now we're at Blaze's concert where Carmen is enjoying it, oblivious to what's coming her way. Hill shows up to the concert and gets backstage without any problems because the security guard at the door is distracted. At the same time, at another door on the other end, I guess, Lieutenant Duff shows up and uses his badge to get backstage. Hill locates Carmen rather quickly and snatches her without either one of her friends noticing. First, Hill tries convincing Carmen that she needs to leave with him by telling her that Lieutenant Duff is in LA after him and that he knows that he would be desperate enough to harm her to get to him and he just can't have that. But Carmen tells him to just leave and that she can take care of herself. While this is happening, Lieutenant Duff is like Batman watching them from a distance. Hill grabs Carmen and tells her that nobody can take care of her like he can, and he starts asking her does she think Blaze love her more than him, while Carmen is screaming let go of me the whole time. In the shadows, Lieutenant Duff pulls out his mystery mouse tool. Lieutenant Duff shoots Carmen, and I used to think it was by accident because he was aiming at Hill and she was in the way, but now I'm realizing it was on purpose because he blew a kiss and smiled at Hill when he spotted him after he did it. But I guess Carmen really didn't have that much time left and her wearing all white tonight was symbolic because now she's an angel. Yeah, but now let's wrap this shit up because whoever was in the editing room obviously didn't care anymore, so why should I? Lieutenant Duff has no more bullets in his mouse tool, so I guess he showed up with 3 bullets to execute this mission. Hill goes up to where he is and they start tussling, which leads to Hill knocking him down on the stage and him dying instantly, right? But at the same time he's up there. Whatever movie. Then the movie basically ends with Hill getting blamed for everything. We see on the news that the story is that he came down to the concert and killed Carmen and Lieutenant Duff because he found out they were involved behind his back. Homeboy will be spending the rest of his life in jail. Then while taking us out with some more rap narration, the brat poses the question, who was to blame for Carmen's death? Was it her or Hill? Well, I say that if my love spell theory is correct, then Carmen messed around with the universe and got bad karma from it, and I don't think I have the power to say anything about that. But if there was no love spell and I'm just supposed to believe what was given to me, which I'm sure that I'm supposed to, because this was a made-for-TV movie that premiered on MTV, and the love spell thing is just me trying to make sense of an unserious movie, then hell no matter what, Carmen didn't deserve to die. Did Carmen play with Hill's heart? Of course she did, but at the end of the day, Hill was responsible for his own actions and he should have had more sense. If using what you got to get what you want, which was basically Carmen's whole MO, warranted a death sentence, then a lot of people would be dead right now. For her role and everything, I do think she deserves some type of consequences, but death was crazy. This movie is freaking terrible. This movie not good and it's not bad either. It's somewhere in between. Like it's definitely a movie. It's definitely a movie. Definitely. It's like one of those movies that's so bad, but it's good at the same time. It's like watching a car crash or watching a train wreck. You can't look away. You gotta keep watching. Like it has its moments. Now, is Carmen a hip-hopper in my top 10 favorite black movies of all time? No. Is it in my top 50? No. Is it in my top 100? No. Is Carmen a hip-hopper something I find myself watching frequently? No. I can only handle this movie at least once every few years, but now I have it on DVD. And you know what? Carmen a hip-hopper is, I'll say it's a classic. You know, it's a classic. It's definitely a movie. It's alright. Carmen the Hip-Hopper is alright. And I can imagine in 2001 people being real excited when this movie premiered. In 2001 I was 2 years old, so I doubt I was one of those excited people, but I could see people, you know, sitting in front of their TV. You got Beyonce, you got Mekhi Phifer, you got Ralph Digger, you got Mos Def, you got Joy Bryant, you got Reagan Gomez Preston. Who else you got? Oh, I'm forgetting somebody. I know I'm forgetting somebody. You got the dude, you got Lou's pub dude, because I feel like he important. And I feel like people probably was real excited when this premiered. I know they was sitting in front of the TV waiting for this to drop. And I feel like in 2001, this probably was a good night for some people. They probably enjoyed this the same way I enjoyed the New Edition story when it dropped. But the difference is, you know, the New Edition story is actually quite good. Carmen the Hip-Hopera, I'm not gonna act like it's one of my favorite movies because it's not. I'm not gonna act like it's, you know, one of those undiscovered gems because to me it's not, you know. I can see why people don't talk that much about Carmen the Hip-Hopera. I can see, you know, like I said, I don't even think Beyonce remember being in this movie. Do she? My brain all over the place right now. That shit drained me. I'm drained. And I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of some thoughts, but right now I ain't got none. Like, I went through that whole movie and I took it serious. I tried to actually understand what was happening because normally when I watch it, it's really just a laugh. Carmen the Hip-Hopera is a classic. It's a classic, and it's one of those black movies that you just, you know it's bad, but you love it anyway. And now I have it on DVD for the rest of my life. I'm gonna show it to my kids. I'm gonna pass it down. I am trying to build my DVD collection, so I do want all the classic black people movies. And I feel like Carmen the Hip-Hopera is something I do need to have in my collection, so that's why I got it. But when I'm gonna watch it again? When I have grandkids, probably.